This is what's going down on Sunday, so these aren't predictions. I'm just telling you guys what's going to happen. So, first game, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Tampa Bay is going to win this game. Atlanta has nothing to play for at all whatsoever. They've already locked up the #1 seed in the NFC. They're just going to rest their starters. I mean, it would be pretty dumb not to. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to pick Tampa Bay. They're going to pretty much win this game. All right, the next game we have the New York Jets playing the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills are going to win this game. The Jets are terrible. They're awful. It doesn't matter which QB is in for the Jets stink, and we're going to go with Buffalo to win this game. Okay, so the next game we have Baltimore and Cincinnati. I'm going to pick Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to beat Baltimore. Even if Cincinnati beats Baltimore, Baltimore still wins the division, so Baltimore doesn't have to worry about Cincinnati passing them in the division race. All right, the next game, Chicago is playing Detroit, and Chicago is going to steamroll Detroit. I don't really know what's wrong with Detroit. Last year, they went to the playoffs, and this year they just, wow. Detroit is just falling apart. They've been in a lot of close games this year, but Detroit, I don't know. They can't even get it. They can't win a game at all. I don't know what's wrong with them. Maybe they'll come around next year, but they have a lot of issues. Anyways, Houston and Indy. I believe Houston wins this game. Indianapolis, they've had a great year. They've made it to the playoffs after a year where they went 2-14, which, wow, it's bad. But anyway, last year was bad. But now Indianapolis, and it does really surprise me how this team has made the playoffs, because when you look at them, they aren't really that talented. Andrew Luck, I mean, he's all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not bad. He's pretty good for a rookie, but he still makes a lot of mistakes. And their defense is really weak, in my opinion. Their rush defense, the Jets ran all over them. The Chiefs ran all over them. Any running-based team can just run all over the Colts. And they really cannot stop the run for a damn. So once they get into the playoffs, I don't expect them to go far. But I believe Houston will win this game because Houston has worked really hard all season long to try and get that #1 seed in the AFC. And as of late, they've looked pretty shaky. But if they win this game, they get the #1 seed. So they're gonna win this game. Next game we have Carolina and New Orleans. And actually, I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this game. New Orleans is a good team. Do not get me wrong; they are really good. But it's kind of sad what's happened to them this year. With the whole bounty thing and everything. I don't know. They should be back together next year if Sean Payton comes back with the Saints. I think they'll be a playoff team. If he doesn't, well, then we'll see. They still have Drew Brees, but we'll see what happens with the Saints next year. But I believe the Panthers will win this game, despite even though New Orleans has Drew Brees. All right, next game we have Philly and Pittsburgh. Actually, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. It's Philly and the New York Giants. I believe the Giants win this game. The Eagles, I don't see a whole lot of hope with the Eagles. Hopefully they can turn things around next year. Next game, we have Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I believe the Browns will win this game. The Browns are coming around. They're looking like a better team than, well, I mean, I guess they're not better, but, they're improving. They are improving because they're usually really, really, really bad, and now they're just, bad. So, they're coming around. All right, next game. Jacksonville and Tennessee. The Jaguars are going to win this game. Tennessee is awful. I do not know how they won 5 games this year. They seriously should just have like 1 win because they are awful. They get blown out by ridiculous amounts. Like last week, they got blown out 55-7. They're just awful. So Jacksonville is going to win that game. All right, next game, Kansas City and Denver. Denver is going to win this game. Denver is looking really strong. They've won 10 games in a row, I believe. That is very impressive. Peyton Manning and the Broncos offense looks great. Their defense is also playing at a pretty high level. They could improve a little bit, but they're playing very well. I think they're gonna beat up on Kansas City. So I expect Denver to win that one. All right, for the next game we have Green Bay playing Minnesota, and I don't know if it's an upset, but I'm going with Minnesota. I really believe that Minnesota will win this game. Um, they're they're not the better team by far. Green Bay is the better team than Minnesota, but Minnesota, I believe, will have just enough edge to win this game. They're playing at home. If they win, they're in the playoffs. Green Bay is not gonna slack for this game at all. If Green Bay wins this game, they get a first round bye in the playoffs. And if they lose, they potentially lose that. So Green Bay is going to play really hard and really tough, but so is Minnesota. They both really want to win this game very badly, but by like 1 or 2 points, I'm going to say Minnesota's going to win just by a hair, and they'll get the job done. All right, for the next game, we have Miami playing New England, and I'm going to go with Miami on this one. New England has been playing a little shaky lately, and they're still a good team, but their defense does need to improve. Tom Brady, terrific. He's always good, but he does have a couple of shaky games when he gets when there's pressure in his face. He gets off for a little bit, but then he bounces back. But we'll see how they do their offense. But I believe that Miami will win this game. All right, next game we have Oakland and San Diego, and believe it or not, I'm going with the Oakland Raiders on this one to beat the San Diego Chargers. So that is my pick for that one. Not much to really say about that game, but I'm going with the Raiders. All right, for the next game we have the Seattle Seahawks playing the St. Louis Rams, and I'm going with the Seahawks. Wow, the Seahawks are on fire. They're super hot as of late. They are the dark horse heading into the playoffs, and the Seahawks are looking really good as of late, and they could potentially go far in the playoffs if they keep playing at a high level like they've been playing lately. Then they could potentially make it. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but they could. So we'll see. They're definitely up on the rise, though, so that's very nice. And then we have the Arizona Cardinals playing the San Francisco 49ers, and believe it or not, I am going with the Cardinals on this one. Despite the Cardinals are, not a good team at all, they do have parts. They have a solid defense. They have some good wide receivers, but their running game is mediocre, but their quarterbacks are just awful. What is wrong with them? I don't know what's wrong with the quarterbacks in Arizona, but it's just awful. If they can get a really good QB, they could be a not bad team, but I do believe that Arizona will be the spoilers, will upset San Francisco and play a spoiler on San Francisco and make them be a wild card, and Seattle will win the division. Why do I think this? This is their last game of the season. They've had a really disappointing season. They started off 4-0, then they fell apart. But I believe that their coaching staff and their players, they get fired up and they want to win this game to make it so San Francisco doesn't win their division. So I believe Arizona's going to give them all they got, and they're going to win this game. All right, for the last game, winner takes all, NFC East, Dallas, Washington. Believe it or not, I'm going with the Cowboys on this one. Washington has been a good story, but they're still very young, and I don't know if they're ready for this big game. This is going to be a big game. Winner takes all in the NFC East. Tony Romo is the story of the Dallas Cowboys. As of late, he's been on fire. This past month, he's been playing out of his mind. I don't think he's thrown a pick. Maybe he's thrown one pick in the last month, but I don't even know if he's done that. But his stats are just like unreal. He's been playing really strong, carrying his team. And I believe that the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Washington Redskins and win the NFC East. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Those are my picks.